Adding our speed using MDI, we went back to program, we went to MDI, so really we are in edit mode if we hit that MDI position. So we can type in what we're looking for. So right now, just the blank program is loaded. So let's say I needed an M3 S1000. So M3 S1000, don't forget your end of block, and then you can input it. The other key for the running the MDI is that you have to go back to the beginning of the program to hit your cycle start. Once you hit cycle start, it will fire that up and it clears it out. But now it's running our spindle at 1,000 RPMs. So if we go back into handle jog, we can click that back in and it's saying 1,000 RPMs right there. And it says spindle's on, so we're good to go. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna handle jog down. So I went back into handle, I hit my 10 thou movement. I could be at 100 thou at this point. I could bring it in on the Z, but it moves really fast. So I'm gonna go back down to 10. I'm gonna come in on my diameter. I'm gonna come across and I'm gonna bring this tip of my tool fairly close. And I don't know if you can exactly see what I'm seeing, but I'm gonna come down on that diameter and on the face of that part. And I'm gonna try to just take like a 10 thou cut or something. Something that's gonna clean up the face, but yet not be too, be too deep. But if you notice there, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but if you heard it, it kind of thumped a little bit. That means that there's still a sod edge there that I'm on. So I'm gonna bring that Z in by about 10 thou. So there's 10 thou, because I just went one click and I'm in 10 thou increments. So in the X now I'm gonna drive in a thou. And now you see that chip come out of there. It's coming out of there quite long and straight. So that means I am cleaning up that sawed edge. So I'm just gonna drive that right down. I'm gonna clean it all the way up. I'm gonna clean up my face. I'm gonna go down to the center line, go past a little bit and bring it back out. Right now, out towards the end here, I'm actually gonna stop the spindle. My tool is on the face right now. Tool 1 is on the face. That's important because what's gonna happen now, and I'm gonna try to adjust my camera because now I'm using two hands, so I've got the chest mount. I am going to go back into offset. So right next to program in position, we have offset setting. So there's offset, but the first offset I click goes into where. We need geometry because we're gonna set our Z geometry for tool 1. We're gonna scroll over and here it's what it is we input here, it's Z0 and then measure. And that, oh, shouldn't have done that. I actually have to do work first. So I'm gonna go back into offset setting button, go to work. I need to set my G54. So it's imperative that you set that first. I mean, I guess I could have left my G54 where it was, but then it's going to adjust the tool to that, and then my measurements are off, especially where I set my block, where I set it at 1 inch 800. That's gonna be off. So here, I'm gonna hit Z0, and same thing, measure, and you're gonna see that Z change. And it changed by quite a bit, but it also changed our absolute to 0. So now I can go back in to offset. I can do my Z0, so I'm still in geometry. So I'm in my tool, geometry, Z0, measure, and now it went to 0. So that's saying that our work is set and our tool 1 is set at 0. What I'm gonna do next though is I'm gonna machine a diameter. So I'm just gonna turn the spindle back on. I'm going to bring my X out so I can kind of see it as it kind of gets out towards the top here. Hopefully the camera can maybe pick that up. I'm just trying to pick up a diameter here. I'm gonna get those chips out of the way. There we go. I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna kind of bring my tip down of my tool, kind of get to that corner. I'm gonna come in on my Z. I'm gonna see if it cuts. So it's cutting. It's cutting. I don't love the cut. You can kind of see it looks a little flashy there. And the reason why is because some of it, if I just stop the spindle, you see some of it there has cut on some of the part, and it cut, and it didn't cut on the other part. I'm not going to get a very good reading. I need to come in on the diameter a little bit more. I need a full cut. So now again, turn on the spindle. Hold it for a second. There we go. I'm going to come in on my X. I'm going to come in. I'm in thousandths right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just picked 7. I don't know why not 10, but that's just what I did. Also, I'm going to turn on my coolant here because I want to come across on that diameter kind of with some coolant running. So I'm going to hit my Z now, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to machine out that diameter. And there I can definitely see that it's cutting on the diameter. And it's producing a pretty nice cut. I'm going to come in quite a ways so I can get a good measure on that. And I'm going to stop right about there. So now I've got a good diameter on that part. And now I'm going to leave my Z right there, because what's going to happen here is when I'm going to come back, I'm going to use my micrometer to measure that diameter, and I'm going to be able to go back into my offsets and type in exactly what I'm looking for this diameter. So this diameter right now, set up quite a ways in. I know it's 1.5 inch raw stock, and I'm trying to get the mic so we can read it, but it's not going to happen. So I'm going to put in the mic the other way. I'm just going to come in on the vertical here. Get over the tangent there. I'm going to lock it in so I don't accidentally move it. Slide it out. And then I've got about 1 inch. Well, there's 1.5 inches. And I came in, so that's 1.5 inches, and I'm about 6 thou below that. So I need to record that number at 1 inch. 494 thou. So 1 inch, 0.494. And that's my diameter that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to verify. Yep, there it is. 1.5 inches there. Yep, and I'm 6 thou below it. So that's what I needed there. So 1 inch, 494 is the diameter that I'm going to use. So I need to go back into offset. Now I got to go back into my X. And here it says X, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in that diameter, and I'm going to go 1.494, and so now I have 1.494, and I'm going to go to measure, and then it changes our X diameter offset number. I'm going to repeat. Well, I'm not going to cut anymore, so now I'm set. So I've cut an outside diameter. I can use that number. Now for tool 2, I'm going to use paper to touch off. So on my X, I'm going to handle jug. I'm going to come away from the diameter. Remember, come out from the diameter first, and then we're going to hit our Z, and we're going to move it back away from our part, and then I'm going to move it quickly to move it out and up, because I want to do a tool change when I'm not by my part. So now I'm going to go to tool 2. And there's tool 2. And now you see the coolant on there. I'm going to dry off the coolant. So when I come in with the paper, I don't want the coolant on there, because we're just going to touch off using paper right now on this machine. Maybe later, maybe I'll have a standard shim that we'll use or something like that, but paper's convenient and easy. So yeah, it's convenient and easy when everything's dry. So now that's cleaned up. Now that same piece of paper that I used to write off on, I'm going to use to touch off on. So I'm going to bring my Z in now. I'm going to bring in my X. I'm going to touch off on the face first. I'm going to slow it down. There we go. Bring that paper in. I'm actually going to come in. I felt a little burr here, so I'm going to come down away from the edge a little bit and onto my part, so I don't have that burr influencing my touch off. I come in, and there it is. Paper grab. If I back out, there's my paper. Come in at 1 here. It's I can feel it sticky, so that's probably where I'll call it. So now on my Z, so if I can get the camera back up so you can see, I'm going to arrow down so the cursor is yellow. I'm in my Z, and now I can put in my Z 0, because it's the 0 of my face, and measure. And what that's saying there is it's giving us the difference between our initial cut and touch off for our tool. And it's saying, hey, tool 2 is 14 thou different than tool 1. So that's what it's saying right there. That's all it's saying. So anyway, so now I'm going to pull my my tool up out of the way on my diameter, on my X. We're going to give it some positive here. We're going to come out, and then I'm going to come over. And then I'm going to come in on my part, my Z, and then I'm going to come right down on it. On my X, here we go. And I'm just going to grab a little bit smaller piece of paper here. I'm just going to watch it. It's going to come in. I don't know, the camera can't really pick up the angle at this point. But we're coming in to touch off on that paper. I can start to feel it. That's a pretty good spot, and there we are. So there's our touch off. So now again, it is X, the diameter that we measured, 1.494, and then measure. So here, measure, and then it gives our distance for our diameter offset. And now we're going to bring out on the X. We're still on the X, so we're just going to positive it out of the way. And at this point, because I do recommend that we start our programs from the home position, from our reference home position, we'll hit reference, and I'll hit rapid, and you can hit X, Y, or X and Z at the same time, and it'll just send it straight home. And so that is touching off our part. So now we have our program loaded, we have our tools touched off, and we have our work referenced, so we're ready to run.